It is summertime across the U.S. and there is nothing better than enjoying the warm weather and firing up that grill. We want to make sure that you're prepping and cooking your food safely so you don't get sick and none of your guests get sick either. Al Romano, chef and professor of culinary instruction at Guilford Technical Community College, joining us today in his backyard. He's going to help you avoid your mistakes on the grill. For the next 30 minutes, we're going to be talking about food safety and grilling, and we're answering any of your cooking related questions. Here's how you get your question to our expert. You text them the question, the number at the bottom of your screen, 336-379-5775. All right, Chef Al, let's get started. Let's talk about the #1 mistake people make when grilling hamburgers.
Well, first of all, they start out with a cold grill. The grill's got to be hot. That's one thing. And you see people squeezing down on them and turning them all the time. Really, hamburgers or really any type of meat should only be moved like 1 or 2 times if you want to get some nice grill marks. So let it sit there for a couple of minutes, get a nice sear on it, then maybe move it around to get a nice grill mark, then flip it. But do not squeeze it. I see people squeezing the juices all out of it, and it comes out really dry. So yeah, you don't want to do that.
Okay, and I've seen people do that, and they're like, "Ooh, look at how nice and juicy the hamburger is," but it's not going to be juicy when you get it on your plate.
Nope.
Okay, got it. Right. All right. How about this? What about food poisoning in the summertime? What are we doing wrong that makes that happen?
Well, it's time temperature control. Everything is time temperature control. You got that danger zone, 41 degrees to 135. You want to keep your food out of it. So you want to keep your cold food cold, hot food hot. So hot food above 135 and cold food below 41 degrees. So if you're going out on a picnic, make sure you start out, if your cold food is cold, like take it out of the fridge and keep it there as cold, put it on ice, keep it. You really have a 6-hour window, as long as it comes out of the refrigerator at 41 degrees, and you got 6 hours, but don't think you're going to go out on a 90-degree day and it's going to stay out 6 hours. So once that food gets above 70 degrees, it's really, you should toss it. You shouldn't eat it anymore. So it could take an hour, it could take up to 6 hours. So it all depends how hot it is outside. So if you keep it on ice, it's definitely, it'll stay a lot longer and you won't get sick.
So don't be eating the deviled eggs made with mayonnaise that's been sitting out all day long at the picnic.
No, that's not a good idea. Eat them right away. Make them and eat them.
Okay. All right. Here's a question. So it always says you should wash your fruits and veggies. Are we talking about washing them like with soap, with just running water? What's the best practice?
You always want to rinse them no matter what. You don't know, especially if they're from a different country coming in, or we don't, it's always safe to rinse them, especially melons because they put some pesticides and stuff on them. So always, even a little bit, I'm talking a tiny bit of bleach ain't going to kill you. You're better off just washing it really good, because when you cut into the melon, if you don't rinse it or cut it or wash it, you cut into it, whatever's on the outside is going to go inside now. And fruit, I would always rinse really good. If you rinse it really good, you should be fine. I try to stay away from chemicals, so.
Okay, so that's interesting. So when we're cutting up that big watermelon stuff, we actually should have rinsed that watermelon before we slice it up, because it's going to get on the inside of that fruit.
Definitely, because where's it come from? It's sitting on the ground. It's in a truck. It's coming over, in a box, right? In the supermarket. Yeah, you want to definitely rinse it.
Okay, I know you have a meat thermometer there. I think I saw it on the table, right? So
I have a couple of them.
All right, so what we all do when we grill, I say, I like mine medium well, or I like mine medium, whatever it is for the steak. And you say, don't cut into it to look at the middle. You should use that thermometer.
Well, you don't really want to cut into the meat. That's why you have the thermometer. So, and you should always, I don't care how many years you've been doing it, how long you've been doing it, it's always good to double check the thermometer. You don't mess, salmonella will come, regardless. If you don't cook your chicken up to 165, you can't assume it's done. Never assume that. And if you want, a nice rare piece of steak, 120 degrees, you can temp it without overcooking it. You always cook it more, throw it back on the grill. But this is the best way to actually, not get anybody sick.
And a meat thermometer is not expensive.
Right, they're like $2. And even not only use it for meat, but use it for cold food too, to make sure everything, if it's cold, your potato salad stuff, it's within temperature range. You don't want it, once it starts getting above, 70 degrees, it really should be tossed. That's when your bacteria is going to really start multiplying, and that's where you're going to really get sick.
Okay. All right, let's talk about when we grill. The grill needs to be at different temperatures for like chicken or for beef or for pork. What is the rule?
Well, right. Well, first of all, depending on usually how much fat is in the meat and how lean the meat is, that determines it. So like a chicken breast, you're grilling a chicken breast, that could be on high heat. Whereas a chicken leg, you want a slower cook. It's going to take longer to cook. Same thing with say you're doing a pork chop versus a pork butt or a pork shoulder. Shoulders, you want to take a long time to cook. Like if you're making barbecue, just let it go really slow cooking. But a pork chop, you want to cook it really quick. Just get a nice sear on it, get it good. And it has layers of fat in it for it. Fish, same thing. I cooked this tuna right here. I just grilled it. It was just a nice tuna steak. I just high heat, just threw it on the grill, got a nice sear on it. You want it, depending on how people like their fish, like tuna. Now you get it medium rare. You can get it. You can get it rare if you want to eat it. But I like mine a little bit more done. So
okay.
It's up to the person who likes it.
All right. So what we're doing is we're taking your questions coming up in the next segment, 336-379-5775. Ask that question. It's anonymous. No one's going to be giving you the side eye because you asked that question, and he's going to answer it for you live coming back.